This is festivalPass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next. Okay, friends, welcome back to festivalPass Stories. Of course, we take you behind the stage, in the studio, the kitchen door, whatever kind of festival is going on, because we want to hear those stories of passion and inspiration that make people say, I'm going to start a festival for this thing that I love. And today we're going to go behind, or perhaps should I say inside the dugout and behind the stage door to hear more about Pouzza Fest. Music and baseball? Yeah, it can come together. It always does. Music always goes with baseball. Center Field, one of the most popular songs ever. So there you go, music and baseball. But this is a festival for punk rock and for punk baseball. I don't think punk baseball, just baseball. Just baseball. Montreal needed baseball again after the Expos led to D.C. Now I probably think
that's where the team went?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Au revoir, Montreal, nice. And welcome to DC. Now they're probably thinking they want to get out of Washington and get back to Montreal. I mean, at least that's how I would feel, especially after the debate that we saw in the U.S. for president last night. But we are going to hear more about how baseball and punk rock come together. Look, it's like a celebrity baseball game or like that celebrity softball game that they have before the All-Star game, which is a festival within itself. So it's festivals within festivals. This is all about Pouzza Fest, and we are here with one of the partners of Pouzza Fest. Say hello to Guilhem. Guilhem is one of the partners, as I mentioned, and I'm going to start you off with what I think is the toughest question of 2020. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well.
It's a very boring answer, but I'll take it. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a weird year for everybody, but I consider myself very lucky in every aspect of my life. If I compare myself with every other person that I know, so it's cool. And especially like Pouzza is the first festival of the year, like of the summer usually, because it's in May. So I don't know where you are in the States, but like I guess there are other festivals in the south of the States earlier, but in Montreal it's too cold before that.
Yeah.
So like the weekend we usually have Pouzza is the first festival of the summer in Canada, and but like because of COVID, like we canceled it 2 months before the festival, but we were all like we didn't suffer that much from like financially. Of course, it was like a big bummer, but now that we're in October. I'm just crossing my fingers for next year. Like,
yeah. Now let's just start turning the page. We've got less than 100 days in this year. Let's think about 2021. It seems like this just magical kingdom out in the distance, but we will get there. We will.
Oh yeah.
So Guilhem, I'm going to hear the story about the polar bear or whatever that animal is in the image behind you. I want to hear about that. But first, I want to hear about the inspiration that brought baseball and punk rock, that's me playing the bass, together a decade ago to create Pouzza Fest.
Yeah, well, Pouzza means, the meaning of the word is like a mix-up between poutine and pizza. So at first it was just like fast food and fast music together. The baseball aspects, it's only been like 4 years, maybe 5 years. Hugo, who was one of the founders, always wanted to mix stuff up. Like we've had yoga, like we mixed up a lot of things. There's a comedy night, or there's even 2 nights of comedy at Pouzza. There's yoga, like I said. There's even a Pouzza Bambino, we call it. It's on Sunday. It like usually every Sunday morning / lunchtime. There's always like a little activities for kids. So like we mix up, like it's not just a punk rock festival. There's a lot happening, and baseball is part of it because it's just everybody can play baseball, I think. Like, and
you try at least.
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's the cool thing is that the baseball we're playing is just like a very friendly baseball, and all the people that play in the bands, they can all participate. So like if they sign up in advance, so we end up having like a bunch of punks who play in like small DIY punk rock bands who are so hungover when they arrive.
Yeah,
Some of them
I
are
imagine.
still drunk, and they just get on the field, and it's a magical moment.
So you mentioned Hugo, just so we all know. I mean, there's going to be punk rock fans listening to this, and they'll be like, everybody knows who Hugo is, host guy, move on. But tell us a bit more about Hugo and his band. It's this St. Catherine is the band, right? One of Canada's most favorite, at least Quebec's most famous punk bands.
Punk rock. Yeah. Well, it's the band doesn't play anymore. Well, they play maybe once a year just for fun, but it's 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 the only Quebec band that ever signed on Fat Track, and it was great when it was there. Now it's not. Well, now I get to see them once a year anyway. So, but it's cool. Yeah, I think that Hugo got inspired by the fest in Florida, in Gainesville, Florida. I don't think I know that's what inspired him, and by touring a lot with the St. Catharines, that's how he got most of his contacts with bands and stuff. So that's how it all started.
Yeah, I was just talking to somebody who played in the fest in Gainesville, and amazing the amount of different kinds of music that are together there. It's really incredible. And this would have been your 10th year. This would have been the 10th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
So it got canceled. We know that because life got canceled. But what kind of stuff would we have seen, like pyrotechnics, or what did you have planned for the 10th to mark this milestone?
Well, we booked a lot of bands that played over the years. So like we had a little, I think it was like 10 or 15 bands from every year, Pouzza 1, Pouzza 2, Pouzza 3. So it was like a cool reunion, a lot of bands that like reunion shows. And no, I don't remember if we had any, because I'm not in charge of that aspect of the festival, but I don't remember if we had anything in particular like to celebrate this. And I think that was something we were supposed to plan in the last 2 months. Like, all right, we need to do something special. Like, but we always do like special stuff. Like we have secret shows of like bigger acts that play in smaller venues and like stuff like that.
So all of these bands have to come through you. How do they find you, or do you find them, or is it like there's 50 bands for 5 slots and it's like a real true, if my band gets picked, it's like, holy cow, we've made it.
Yeah, definitely. But like we're 3 people in charge of booking. I book like all the small names on the posters and some bigger names. I do probably 90% of the bands that are on the poster. But the way we work with the booking is we have a meeting, the 3 people that are in charge of the booking, and we usually at the beginning of the year, like in August or September, we usually have a meeting and we throw the names. Like we're like, all right, who we want next year, and we're thinking about headliners with like smaller acts. And after this in September, usually we post something on our social media, and we're like, hey, if your band wants to play Pouzza, send us an email. and now that Pouzza has grown, it's like we're probably going to keep on doing that forever. But like, it's so many emails. It's like over 1,000 bands, maybe like a 1,500, and we get to choose like 150 bands total. So
wow,
yeah,
150 bands.
Yeah, and the decisions.
And how many days does it go on for?
It's 3 days. So like it's between 50 and like 65 bands per day.
And does it take place at a fairgrounds, or is it in like small venues around?
So
city?
There's a big outdoor venue. Well, no, the big outdoor stage, which is like in right downtown Montreal. There's like a small park, and we can. Well, I say small, but like there's 10,000 people that can get in. And then there's
tiny little 10,000 person park.
Yeah, and then there's a few venues around that area that it's all walking distance. So I think we have 5 or 6 venues now. There was a year, I think Pouzza 3, where there were 13 or 14 venues, and that was way too much. It was a bit too crazy.
So you get 10,000 plus people to come to this?
Yeah. We don't sell that many tickets because the outdoor venue is free.
Okay.
which sounds a bit crazy. However, like in Quebec and in Canada in general, people who do that kind of things, they usually get grants from the government, but we don't, because like it's a punk rock festival, so they don't. It's not that we didn't try. We tried, and they refused every time. Or I might be wrong, because I think they might give us a little bit of money, but really not that much. But we have good beer sponsors. Trou du Diable, which is like a kind of locally, but now they got the Molson bought them now, so I don't think we can call them local anymore, because but Molson's local. All right, and
Molson's
but because of these sponsors, we're allowed to like make this outdoor thing free.
And I did see that under your partners section on your website, you do get some. It says institutional partners, Sodec, Quebec, and just like tourism, Tourisma, Quebec.
So that makes sense. Maybe
nice.
So maybe they acknowledge us right now. Maybe what they used to. It used to be more difficult. I feel like it's still difficult, but institutional partners. Hey, you're right. Huh, interesting.
Which is good. That's great. So that leads me into just asking you, during this time where you couldn't have your festival, what did your partners like Tourisma Quebec and your beer sponsors, did they say, we got your back, we're with you? Or did they say, sorry, right now, we're just going to have to put this on hold until next year?
Everything's got put on hold. But you have to understand that every partner, like every shareholder of Pouzza, it's not our job. Like it's our hobby. It's not passion. Like it's not nobody makes real money, or like we all have real jobs. It's just it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, expensive hobby, passion project, but in the end, the bills get paid. But you guys aren't looking to do this as a profit center. You're looking to give something back to the punk rock community, give something awesome to Quebec, provide a free experience for some people, and you're definitely exposing some people to music maybe they've never really heard, and they're like, "Wow, that's kind of angry and fun and cool." And
definitely,
I like what's going on there.
This outdoor stage is such a weird thing because it's downtown Montreal. So there's a lot of people that just walk and they listen to the bands and they're like, what's happening? Like it's a really cool thing.
And for baseball, do they play at the old Olympic Stadium, or where do they play the baseball?
No, but that would be really cool. No, we just play in a park not too far from everything, La Fontaine Park. But yeah, did you know that stadium you could rent? Like you can rent it for very cheap. Like I think it's $150, just $150 just to get. Like to rent the thing. Then after that, if you need security and stuff, like it adds up. But like it's only $150 because nobody rents it.
Yeah, because it's old and weird and sort of decrepit and beat up and everything else. I went to a baseball game there during the final season, and I was like, this place is kind of if the Expos did stay there, they needed a new stadium. I mean,
definitely. If baseball is coming back, I think they're gonna build a new stadium.
I think it would be a great expansion city. You still have a team in Toronto, and everybody loved the idea of Montreal. And I would imagine baseball is probably going to expand 2 teams. I think one city is going to be Nashville, which is a great music city, known as Music City, USA. And Quebec, Montreal would be awesome as well. I think it would be a lot of fun.
It's become very popular for some reason. Baseball, like the Blue Jays, are playing every year. They're playing 2 or 3 games in Montreal every year.
I know that.
At the beginning of the season, I think it's the preseason. I don't know, but like I've been to one of these games and I was like, wow, in the old stadium, in the Olympic Stadium.
So and they sell out, or they get a lot.
Yeah, they sell out. Yeah.
I'd love to hear that, because sometimes every couple of years baseball has this like sort of down period, but what a shot in the arm it would be to have a second team out of the country. I love baseball. I grew up playing it until I wasn't good enough to play at the next level. But, so that ended, eventually that career never went professional or even close to it. Something about, they call it the World Series always bugs me a little bit. I'm like, just call it the series. Just call it the series.
That's right.
Like, it's like, and the Yankees are champions of the baseball world. That is the correct way to say it. But when they're like, the Yankees are World Series champions.
Yeah, that's weird.
But they didn't even beat all of North America. There's not even, how about we have a team in Mexico? Let's make this,
that would be cool.
Make this a little bit more global. At least keep it the same time zone or something. But I don't know. Or have a team on the west coast of Canada. The Vancouver basketball team didn't work, but maybe baseball
maybe
would work.
Calgary could work.
Yeah.
There's a lot of Cowboys there who would probably love to go and watch baseball. Yeah,
there sure are Calgary Cowboys, which is very funny when you think about that. But I love that in the FAQ section of your website, like the first question is not, is there Wi-Fi available? It's, are children allowed? And like, this is a punk fest. Like the last thing I would think is that you would be kid friendly, mother approved, but you said there is a whole section devoted to like family days because, hey, punk, it's not just for rogue teenagers anymore.
Punk's not dead. It's just they grew old and they got kids.
They got responsible.
Yeah.
So the lyrics are now like, down with the government, but also pay your taxes. I like it. Still a little anarchy, but also anarchy with responsibility, which is the theme, perhaps as they get older. And then someone asks, are there secret shows? And it's like, yeah, there's secret shows, man. You touched on that, but it's like, we're not going to tell you right now, dude. Yes, the secret shows are taking place here and when. No,
that's funny because
VIP insider, right?
Yeah, when we started doing secret shows, it was so secret. We just it was even secret for us. It was like we asked like one of the headliner, hey, do you want to play in a really small venue? And they were like, yeah. Are you going to give me some booze? I'm like, yeah, sure. We'll give you all the alcohol you want. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. Let's do it. And we just started passing the word, like telling everybody, hey, there's a secret show in 1 hour there. And it was like so last minute. And now with like all the social media, it's like we're just like putting it on our social media and we call them secret shows. And in the last years, people have been like complaining because they're like, they're not secret. You're announcing them. I'm like, well, what do you want us to do? Like, it's like, we want people at these shows.
Yeah. You want it to be secret, but you're pretty inclusive, it seems. You want everybody to have a chance to go to the secret show.
I think now, last year we called them surprise show. So it's like, it's a surprise. It's not a secret.
Yeah. What if you charged a little extra for a ticket and with that extra comes access to the secret shows and you're guaranteed one secret show, something like that?
Yeah, we're not that much into making money, so I don't think it can happen.
We're still punk, man. It's not about making money. It's about
we don't like VIP stuff. Like we've seen other rock or punk rockish festivals doing it, and I think we probably had a few VIP tickets in like a couple of years ago, but that just gave you access to like it was just for like 5 or 10 people, and it gave access to backstage and free booze and stuff like that. And,
I'm in New York City, so I'm always thinking of what's the VIP, what's the hottest table, what's the hottest place.
Oh yeah,
we need that. New York, we just need to satisfy our egos by knowing that we are in the inside. It's like, hey, did you enjoy Pouzza Fest? Yeah, I had a great time. The secret shows were the best. Oh, you didn't get to go to the secret show because you're not a VIP like me. That's how we just kind of compare ourselves.
New York City.
Hey, we're coming back, man. We're coming back slowly but surely. But today it feels like there's a little more life on the street.
They just closed. They closed back the restaurant. I think tomorrow everything's going to be shut down again in Quebec. And it's so weird because I just watched a video of our premier, the Prime Minister of Quebec, which is called a premier. I think that's what the term is in English.
For the province.
But for the province, he said he's been asked the question. So where are the the specialists, the scientists recommendations? Where are they? And he was like, so like apparently they took that decision of shutting down everything again without any recommendations. They were like, oh, let's do it. And so everyone is pissed in Quebec because they all wanted to just keep on doing what we were doing, which is taking right now. Everybody's taking precautions, and it's like there's no art. I think the amount of people dying is not going up. Like the amount of new cases in Quebec is going up, but not the amount of people dying. But you know what? I'm not a professional in this matter, so.
Apparently, either is the premier of the province. He doesn't seem like much of a professional either.
He's a business.
It all down.
Yeah,
Why?
he's a business dude. So, it's so
that's
weird.
odd.
It's so weird that like the leaders of our world are business people. I don't think like our countries and our states or province or cities they're not businesses. They should, well, to me, they should not be considered as businesses.
Yeah, you should have to, and I don't want to get into politics too much. You know, we said this would be a nice friendly conversation, and once we go politics, everybody gets mad. But I think with everything we've seen about people being so angry at politicians, there should be a mandate where you cannot go right into politics perhaps right after college. Like you can work in politics as a junior person working for a congressman or senator or something, congresswoman, whoever, but you should have to go into the private sector for a little while to see what it's like for people and the restrictions that are put on private businesses and so on. And then you can go and, you know, you don't have to be an entrepreneur and a millionaire to go into politics. You should be able to go in and say, I worked in the restaurant business for 5 years, or I worked in manufacturing for 5 years, you know,
there's
and
a
now
woman,
I'm here.
I think there's a woman from, what's her name? Ocasio-Cortez? Is that her name? Yeah. Is she in New York? Is that where she, okay. I think I read something about her that she worked in a restaurant and everything. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Did.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't particularly be a fan of hers, but, you know, before I put my own foot in my own mouth, I did just say you should be in the private sector before you go into politics.
And that's what she did
that. And she did that. So well done, AOC. You shut me up. But
I gotcha.
Yeah, she is she's way too left. I think she wants to.
It's cool because you're way too left. Your American way too left is it's my okay left. It's my all right. That's how far I'm ready to go.
Yeah, but it's essentially what she wants to do is socialism. Communism, if you want to call it that. But look, there are merits to certain parts of it, and I think if she would stick to the ideas of let's just make it more fair for everyone instead of the very, very angry way she goes about it, it's a different story. But hey, look, there is she's got a movement and she's here to stay. And the reason that she won a primary in a district that was run by a guy named Joe Crowley. And Joe Crowley would have had that seat essentially for life. And then in the primary before the full election, none of his constituents showed up to the primary because he wins it every year. They're like, we don't have to go vote. They didn't, people didn't show up. And she was banging on doors and she was out there with a grassroots effort and she worked her butt off.
Yeah.
And when they showed the results of the primary, when she won, she went, she couldn't believe it. She was like, you can look up the footage.
That's good.
She was like, oh my God, I can't believe what? She was shocked. And all she's done since she got in is shock people. So where I'm not her biggest fan, I also do applaud her guts and sticking to what she believes in. So, and she's not going anywhere and she's not going to be quiet. And people are like, it's very
America,
funny.
I feel like America needs more of these kinds of people.
When you hear people say go back to bartending, it's like, man, you're out of touch. Like she is representing the working class. So, more power to her. I can disagree with her and we can have discourse like this. And that's the way it should be.
Definitely.
But this is not about American politics. This is about Pouzza Fest. And this is about what you guys are doing. So how are you engaging with your partners and your fans during this time? You had to cancel everything. We know that. But
We don't.
are you no virtual or anything like that? No, like, hey guys, what's up?
No, we didn't do a lot. I personally did something, which was the weekend that Pouzza was supposed to happen. I did a very last minute secret show on Instagram with I think 30 bands, 38.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the only thing that we did, and it was very last minute, and it was a lot of fun having all these bands accepting it was so last minute. One of them, I sent him a message saying, it was the band Make War. They're from Brooklyn, and I sent Jose a message, and I said, hey, do you want to play a show on Instagram, like just 2 songs? He said, yeah, sure. When? And I was like, in 15 minutes. And he was like, oh, I'm a bit drunk and I'm at a party right now, but
perfect.
Yeah,
you just
that will do.
pre-gamed.
Yeah, exactly. And that went so well. That was great.
Well, it's a shame that they're shutting things down again in Montreal, but
yeah.
What if this goes into next year? Will you go virtual next year?
No, I don't think so. Well,
really?
I'm just talking for me, but I don't think I think we're going to skip another year. And you know what, if we don't get a vaccine before the end of the year, I think we're going to have to cancel another year, because I think the rule that I've been told is vaccine plus 6 months. So like when the first person is going to get vaccine in Canada, you have to wait 6 months.
Got it. Okay. So in a year of angst against government, in a year of social justice, in a year of inequality, how important is the message of punk rock right now?
I think it's very important, even though I don't think punk rock is the like it's more the meaning. The music is not what it used to be. Maybe maybe there's some, because I don't know the youth. I don't know if they listen to punk rock, but I think the youth are mad right now, and I don't know what they listen. And I'd be very curious to hear what they're listening to right now. We need to crack that code, because right now it's an aging group. Like the people who come to Pouzza, I'm 28 and I'm the youngest person at Pouzza. Or like there's like a couple, like there's probably 10 people younger than me at Pouzza. So in like 5 years, like that, I don't know how that's gonna go. But in terms of punk rock and what's happening in our world, well, I think we need it. But I don't know. It's weird, because if there's a band who released a song about COVID, I'd be like, huh.
Yeah.
I don't
COVID, know. COVID punk rock doesn't sound like fun, but standing up against the government and when they make you shut down your businesses and so on, and then when the cops maybe are a little too heavy-handed with people, like that sounds like time for, at least in the 70s and the you'd have the Sex Pistols and so on. Like that was the kind of stuff that they would stand up against, anarchy in the UK and stuff like that. But, it never meant to overthrow the government. It was just like, we're angry and this is our message.
I feel like people are less, like musically, they're less angry right now, or it might be just me, but I feel like, or maybe I will realize that people were really angry in 5 years when I'll listen back to like what's going on right now. But it's
well, I think you're hearing it through hip hop. I think you're hearing it through more, when people are talking about the social injustices they have been dealing with since birth. But should there be, I think almost every festival, every public kind of festival going forward is going to have a message of not just, a lot of people do charitable things at their festivals, but I feel like there's got to be some sort of social justice message there. Do you think that Pouzza, am I saying Pouzza? Maybe I should say it like that. Pouzza is. Do you think it's you think it's the right place for that at Pouzza?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of. We're a very inclusive festival. Yeah, we're trying to make our lineup as diverse as possible, and because we're kind of tired of having all these festivals having just a bunch of white dudes singing about the same stuff. I don't really want to hear some white dude from New Jersey talking about how Bruce Springsteen influenced him in his punk rock. That's like cool, but we have 150 more bands to book on this festival. So like, can we get something else? But yeah, so and we try to be inclusive with even the people that come to our festival. We have a safe space policy where we heard we didn't hear a lot of bad story that happened at Pouzza, but every time there's like somebody who sent us a message saying like, hey, this guy did this and everything, we always act. So we try to make it a cool place for everybody to go.
But there's got to be security and that type of thing. There's got to be
but the security is briefed. There's a venue that we have a bit of problems with sometimes because their security tends to be a little rough. But the outdoor venue, the security is briefed that like this is not like a rock concert. It's like a punk thing. So like, be nice with the people. Don't we don't want any power trip here. It's like, just, you're here to make people safe, not to hurt them.
All right, now we're just going to go into a little area I like to call COVID confidential. It's like COVID after dark. Woohoo! Yeah, there you go. First of all, who is your friend behind you? Who is that? Is it a polar bear behind you? Is it a dog? What kind
That's
of?
That's a little dog. That's a little dog. I don't remember the name, but it's a meme on the internet. The youth that we talked about are big fans of that dog. Apparently, there's a name to that dog. I don't remember, but it's a meme. And
I'll have to find out the name of that dog there.
Yeah, I think it started with CH Chom. I don't remember. But just that my background's a mess right now, so it's that's a better background.
It's an emotional support meme, we'll call it, the animal. It's an emotional support animal meme. But besides the hard life lessons that we've all had to learn during this time, have you also found that you had some sort of secret power that you didn't know about? Like you're a great chef, or you can speak multiple languages, but did you pick up another language during this time? Or
well, I'm trying to learn German. I took German classes because I want to learn a third language. And Spanish is a bit too easy. I'm going to learn Spanish eventually in my life, because like I speak French, and I don't know. I feel like my great grandparents are from Spain, so at some point I'll pick it up. Like it's no big deal. But German, it's kind of hard. So I want to try to learn it now. Other than that, I haven't been doing well. I've been playing a lot of music. And I teach online with Zoom like this, sometimes with this background. That's pretty much what I've been doing. But I didn't find out a new talent, unfortunately.
Well, I know that you did record your first full legitimate solo album.
Yeah.
So that was done during this experience. I thought it said, I looked at it quickly, I thought it said Room and Board, but it said Board and Board. Is that it? The name of the album?
Born and Board, yeah.
Born and Board. I thought it said Room and Board, Bored, and I was like, ooh, clever. So what was the inspiration for the album?
It was a whole year of touring all around the world, so with my solo project and with my band. I wrote all these songs on the road. It was like a lot of like a mix between sad songs, stressful stuff, love.
It's an acoustic album?
It's a full band thing. I played all the instruments except the drums. I hired a drummer. So the drum sounds very nice. And I recorded it in December, and I released it in March by myself. I was supposed to tour a lot for this, but then
just one more thing.
Yeah, one more thing. And I just went into a studio a week ago to record my second solo album, full band, and it's all going to be in French this time. So yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And what is the inspiration for the second album?
Well, this one has not been written on the road. It has been written at home. And it's so weird to write in French for me, even though it's my mother tongue. It's so weird. So I don't know, the inspiration. It's like I'm a big fan of Jeff Rosenstock, so it's always in there. So musically, that's it. But lyrically, it's I don't know. To write in French makes me want to write about more bizarre stuff, and people who like understand French will probably listen to my songs and be like, "Why did he say that? Why did he say that?" Because like it's there's a lot of stuff that I'm like I don't listen to music in French at all, or so when I write in French, it doesn't sound like I'm influenced by nothing that's ever been done in French. So
and when you say write, you mean you're pen to paper. You are literally writing this. You're not just typing it on the computer.
I'm typing. Well, you know what? I'm typing on a computer, or I'm recording with my phone. Like that's how I write my songs. I have an idea, and then I play it with my guitar, and I sing the melody of the song.
Yeah, I had to write something in script recently, and I was like, whoa, I had to write like 3 sentences in script.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It's weird, huh?
And I just was like, I just haven't done that. I felt like a millennial. I felt much younger. I was like, this is cool. This is like, yeah, I had to write something the other day. It was like with pen and paper. It was so weird. Yeah, and I was like, you grew up with that, and then all of a sudden you're just not doing it anymore. You have no reason to do it. I mean, I've handwritten notes, but they're usually in just regular.
They teach you cursive writing, right? And that's cool. Why?
Script, cursive, same thing.
Like, cause like I remember when they taught us that at school. Like cursive is like when you write like all without like raising your pen, right? That's what it's called, cursive, right? So when they taught us that, I was like, I told my teacher, but why do I have to relearn how to write? I already know. And the teacher, I was like in second grade, and she was like, well, you're going to go faster. I'm like, no, because right now I'm just messing everything up.
Yeah. And
she was like, well, if you don't want to write cursive, in the 3 years, you're going to be able to drop it out. And I was like, all right, cool. I waited 3 years, dropped it out. Now I don't know how to write cursive.
That's it. It's not a skill you need for life. German will come in more handy than cursive. I promise you that. So continue on that German. So awesome. How do our friends and members find out more about Pouzza Fest?
I go on Facebook, Instagram, and just like follow us on these social media. There's the website pouzzafest.com. But right now we're very quiet. We don't do much. Even like we don't know what to do right now. We're just waiting to see how COVID's gonna, if it's gonna get better or not.
But you'll be back. You'll promise the fans right now that you'll be back. That
I'm not promising anything.
You're like, I'm not a politician. I'm not going to promise anything.
Oh no!
We're talking about politicians.
You know what? I promise that
to be back.
We want to be back. And if Pouzza is not back, I will book my own thing. I'll book a different thing.
Well, between the foreign languages, the solo albums, and getting Pouzza Fest back on track, you are stomping it out like a true punk rock show. Congrats to you and Guilhem. I appreciate your time. And folks,
thanks for having me.
Check out Pouzza Fest. They will be back, although they won't promise that, but they know they will. So we'll see you in Montreal, hopefully next May, and we'll follow up with you. And maybe we'll be there. Maybe we'll do a little live interview with you.
That would be cool. Let me know. I know some people.
and now by knowing you, I know some people in Montreal. So that's great. So friends, we'll see you up in Montreal next May, hopefully, and we'll see you next time on FestivalPass Stories. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This is FestivalPass Stories, a podcast series is told by the people who create and make festivals come to life. You will go behind the stage, kitchen, or studio door to hear the stories of passion and inspiration that started some of the world's most beloved festivals. Hear the startup stories and how an idea went from what if to what's next.